I think definitely people are still setting goals, and goals are very important because without goals, it's like trying to drive somewhere and not having a destination. You end up doing the exact same activity and not going anywhere. So the hard part though is when you're younger, sometimes you think you want to go a certain way, and then you take your course, and then you get stuck with that
Life
course.
happens.
Right, and then you realize, do I really want to do this? What I am afraid of a lot of times is when they end up taking a course in college that they realize they don't want to do, but they feel stuck, and then they end up going into a career based on that course. So sometimes it's important to always do checks and balances on what your goal is and where you want to go. Always do that. So having a life coach, a counselor, a psychologist, a career coach is very important, especially from that teen years all the way to young adulthood. You know, when I was in high school, I remember this vividly. I was 17 years old, and I already knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the entertainment business. At about 16, 17. I just knew it. So everything from that point on was pointing me towards a direction. As soon as I graduated, I immediately got into a business. I did a business plan rather than a resume. So I've never had a job in my whole life because I've always got into business. So that got me into the entertainment business. And throughout that 14, 15 years of doing production, behind the scenes, what I noticed was I was able to empower people to be the best versions of themselves. They end up opening their own production companies. Two of them are bigger than my company eventually, and I had to close mine. The other one became a very successful creative director for a huge ad agency. So when I'm seeing all these people, I realize there's something that I'm supposed to be doing. That's when I started to look into the idea of life coaching. And I'll be honest with you, it happened 2 years ago. And part of the reason was because I was having problems with my relationship that time. And I said, I wanted to help fix my relationship. What am I going to do? So I got into life coaching to try to fix that relationship. In the process, I started coaching other people. And I started helping all these people from fresh grads to corporate executives to entrepreneurs. And all these people started coming to me. And I started learning so much. I was able to start changing people's lives, transforming them from within. And in that whole 2 years, I never fixed my relationship.
Wow.
But I got something positive out of it.
Yeah.
Right. On a one-on-one coaching, always the answer has to come from them. You can't be the one to dictate the answer. Right. And you can't even be the one to have your own agenda that you're going to place on them. They have to be the one to find the answer. My job is just to create the clarity and the awareness so that they can make the right decisions. I'm a little bit of an optimist, and I will tell people if they say I really want to do this, it's more of just trying to figure out how badly they want to do it. For example, entrepreneurship. A lot of people say they want to be entrepreneurs. Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to make a lot of money. I want to have a lot of time. I will say to them, first of all, if money is your motivation, don't be an entrepreneur, because when the money's not there, you will quit. And when they say, I want to have my own time, I'll tell them, you're going to work harder than an employee. Are you prepared for that? So it's a question of just creating that reality of what it is. But at the same time, I won't stop them because, especially when they're younger, I think if when they're older and maybe they have a family and they have responsibilities, it's a little bit tougher to make that career shift or that jump to being a painter, for example. But when you're young, I always say, at worst, if you fail, you can always get a job. Right. Okay, so the one that gives money and then just hopes it flourishes, those are investors already. Normally, when they're entrepreneurs, you don't have that much money yet. So it's really a lot of passion. And one of the things is, when I say passion, it's not like, I like food, I'm going to open a restaurant. It doesn't work that way. You must when you say I am passionate about food, for example, everything about it, the process, the ordering, the staff, the human resources, the administrative work.
When a typhoon is raging.
Right. So you must be passionate, not just on the good stuff, but also the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you cannot be passionate in even the grind, the dirty work, you're not really passionate. Passion is when you can find it in any aspect of that thing that you love. I'll give you an example of like a mindset change that I do. When somebody says, I want to be a certain type of person, for example, they say, I want to be more patient, I want to be nicer. So the exercise I do is like a verbal mantra. I think you know this one. Instead of saying I want to, you say I am.
I am. has to be in the now. Here
Yes,
and now.
because you keep wanting something you never become. But if you say I am, sometimes verbal cues help you create that right mindset to be able to put you in that right state of mind. Words are powerful.
Yeah,
Very powerful.